Well, we'd never designed a mosque before, so obviously we had to do a lot of research, and one of the things that we quickly realized is that mosques throughout the world and throughout history have always taken on the culture and the vernacular of their time and place. So, a mosque from North Africa is very different from a mosque in China, very different from a mosque in India. The question we asked ourselves is, what should a British mosque be in the 21st century? Something that was of our time but very much fitted into this place. The journey from Mill Road, which is quite a busy road, is through a community garden which is outside the mosque, then through into an Islamic garden, through to a portico which just kind of protects people from the rain, through to an atrium it is very much the community space of the building, and then through to the ablution areas, eventually into the prayer hall, which is twisted to address Mecca. And it's very much a journey from the mundane to the spiritual. So through all of these spaces, that is the hope that people will leave their everyday concerns behind and be ready to look up, which is what most people do when they come into this space, because that's where the light is coming from, and address their spiritual world. The underlying geometry of the building was determined by Professor Keats Critchlow, who actually had been David and my tutor at the AA in the 70s. We'd kept in touch with him, and he is an Islamic geometer. He established the underlying geometry of the whole building, which is based on something called the breath of the compassionate pattern, which is based on octagons, which is to do with the breathing of life. You'll notice that geometry underlying everywhere, in the carpet, in the atrium floor, and indeed in the structure. We took his geometry, which he drew with pen and pencil, and then we put it into 3D CAD and pulled it up into the pattern of the trees. Behind us are the mashrabiyah screens, which are the screens that divide the men from the women. But part of the idea of the mosque was that it should be very women-friendly. I think it is one of the most women-friendly mosques in the UK. What we've done is designed 3 different spaces for women, because it's important that they do feel comfortable. So if women coming from very traditional background want to be completely separate, there's a space up on the first floor. Then there's another space where they can be with their children. And then there's a space in the main prayer hall where they can be behind the mashrabiyah screen. But the mashrabiyah screen is low, it's got gaps in it, and it's movable. So the idea is that it's flexible. It's important to recognise that Islam has been part of British culture for hundreds of years. Hopefully the architecture of this mosque recognises and sends a message to people that it's not separate, it's not a part, it is a part.